California's eviction moratorium is ending today after 2 extensions.
And the law kept tenants from being evicted if they were unable to pay rent during the pandemic. Now landlords can start evicting tenants who have not paid. Joining us to make sense of this is real estate expert and developer Aaron Amuchastegui. He's here to talk about how the end of the eviction moratorium on the state level could impact the rental and real estate market right here in the Sacramento region. Aaron, thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's good to have you.
Hi, Ty. Thanks for letting me come on.
And it's good to have you. I know you have a really interesting perspective, too, because you've been in real estate for decades. You started your business in California. You've now moved to Texas for most of your business. And the eviction moratorium in Texas has already ended. So you've kind of seen the back end of what that could look like. What happened in Texas after the eviction moratorium ended?
Yeah, it wasn't as extreme when the eviction moratorium ended as everybody kind of thought it was. There was a lot of worry that there was going to be kind of mass evictions. A lot of people were behind on their rent. A lot of people had stopped paying. But one of the benefits they've had out there as part of the COVID relief program is ability for tenants to be able to apply for rental assistance. Well, when the eviction moratorium was in place, not very many people were filling out for that assistance. It wasn't very easy. It would take 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It was kind of a pain. And so when the moratorium was in place, I think a lot of tenants just decided they were going to wait it out. As soon as they turned evictions back on and we could start talking to those tenants again and reaching out to them, they all started applying for assistance. And rather than a bunch of exodus of evictions, we had a lot more people getting that rental assistance.
I know the real estate market in California and Texas is quite different, I imagine, but what did you see happen with the real estate market?
Yeah, so there's just really a lot of transitions that were happening. So we didn't see, a lot of people then started to downsize, started to upsize based on, again, when you started to get to talk to them, that people finally applied for it. We saw rents continuing to go up after that eviction moratorium ended. And again, we have not seen a bunch of them. It still isn't enough housing on the market, probably similar to what you guys have out there, but less landlords are in trouble now.
And you dug up some interesting statistics from the Census Bureau for us. I'm going to read a few of those as we bring a graphic up onto the screen. 1 in 17 homeowners say they are behind on their mortgage. 527,000 renters, 1 in 17, believe they'll be evicted. About 35,000 in Sacramento County, and less than half have applied for assistance through the programs that are available. What is your take on those stats?
Yeah, I think that's the most important part and what most people should be thinking about of like what is really going to happen. So that was a recent census this last month. And yeah, 1 in 17 renters say, hey, I think I'm going to be evicted in the next 60 days. So that's 35,000 in Sacramento, in the Sacramento area. Well, the SHRA is one of those programs that can pay rent for people up to 12 months. And they recently said last month that they've only had, I think it was 15,000 people apply. So they still have twice as much money available. So I think what really can happen is almost everybody that is in worry of getting evicted in Sacramento, they could go apply for that rental assistance. The money is available, and this could be the thing that encourages them now to do it.
Aaron, we have about 30 seconds, and I've kind of got a loaded question for you, but I think a lot of people will be wondering this if they're in this situation. What are your rights as a landlord and as a renter? Meaning, are you required as a renter to get out now that it's expired? And do you have that right as a landlord to move people out?
You have a right to start filing that process again now, but it's not an instant process. It's never an instant process. And it's really the last case scenario that a renter or a landlord want at all. So they can start having the conversation again. They can start filing again. To start the processes, but it's not a quick. Nobody's getting evicted tomorrow.
All right, Aaron Amuchastegui, very helpful information from a guy who knows the business inside and out. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. That was very helpful.
Thanks, guys.
It is 8:52. We'll be right back.